Yes. I was just thinking of this fictitious fiction of law, the fictitious action. Oh, oh, an action brought solely for the purpose of obtaining the opinion of the court on a point of law, a feigned action. Pooch. Wait, that wasn't it. Oh, fictitious plaintiff, one who appears in court as the claimant, but who actually has nothing to do with the matter at hand. Such an individual is guilty of contempt of court. Pooch. Fidelity bonds, oh my gosh, a law so that should a bonded employee or officer of any state, federal government embezzle or abscond with money or valuables in his care. Now, these fictitious plaintiffs, yes. Is the state of Washington a fictitious plaintiff in the 2-count criminal complaint? Because seems to me that the prosecuting attorney's office has no problem representing the people of the state without actually stating when the alleged crime took place. I mean, the actual time of the crime. Yeah, without involving law enforcement on the gross misdemeanor. And then making a fiction and then having to prosecute, because they always prosecute, they never dismiss the case. And since I'm the one that you're going to put in a mental institution, I just thought that I should get the bonds of those in the prosecuting attorney's office and their personal insurances of errors and omissions and any umbrella policies. Now, I would think that when you sue for the actual bonds of those elected to office, and I'll get that bond, it might only be $5,000, I will also sue your insurance carriers for insuring you. Now, prosecuting attorneys, who's the fictitious plaintiff in all these criminal complaints? Pooch. Because the complainant is really the state of Washington. I wasn't in Brennan and I wasn't in Squim, and I never emailed my wife or my sons. So exactly when are you going to give up your fiction? Now, I know you're the prosecuting attorney and you're never wrong. You always allow for the admittance of evidence before filing the criminal complaint. You make sure that the rights of the accused are protected. Is that right? Or you just think you have it's a fiction believing that you have the power of the state? Do you have the power of the United States? Now, I've documented that you issued court orders where I was not given any notice or opportunity to be heard. You said, well, as long as I have knowledge of it, it doesn't make it valid if it was not issued according to the requirements of the state. You can't have court hearings 50 days after the temporary... Oh, you can't have wrongful execution of court orders. You can't serve somebody other than the respondent. You can't have forgeries and the fraudulent use of the state court seal. It has to be issued according to the actual requirements of the United States federal government. Now, a lot of oaths are going to get sued for their bonds, and then I'm going to sue them for their personal insurances, and I'm going to make absolutely fucking sure that they don't have a fucking thing. Now, you've been doing this fiction of law for the last 2 years. Well, it's almost 3 years now. Yeah. Exactly when is it that you're going to revert? Well, there's a lot of insurance companies that are going to be upset when I get done. Oh, they insured you when you got elected. They issued the bond. You paid the premium. And then you refused to acknowledge the requirements of the law. And you are liable as an employee or officer of the state government and the federal government. Now, did you think you were going to do what the law says? I mean what I say. When I told you I wanted my sons, you decided to be total dickheads. Well, why don't you call your insurance agent today, because your premiums are going up.